So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and you are listening to Komal Taya. So guys, since last 6 to 7 videos we have been discussing the superposition principle, but I think that is clear to you guys. If you have any doubt, you can leave you can leave your queries in the comment sections, right? So in today's video we are going to start a brand new topic, which is tunneling, right? And you know that is very important. That's very small topic when it is considered for chemistry exam. Chemistry syllabus is very small. I think that will hardly take 2 to 3 videos for us to complete it. So that will take 2 to 3 videos basically, and we'll be good to go for tunneling. Fine. So tunneling is very easy topic, guys, so don't get scared as we are going up. So topics are little bit new, but it does not mean that they are tough. So these topics are very easy. So I'll be explaining to you that what tunneling is, that when tunneling happens, and what can be the questions that examiner can ask, right? So I think without delaying we should start our video. So guys, basically tunneling comes under this potential barrier problem. Tunneling comes under this potential barrier problem. So you must be wondering that what is the potential barrier problem. So I'll be telling you that potential barrier problem, this potential barrier problem, we study it under two categories. What are the two categories? They are finite width, that is finite width, and infinite width. We study it under two categories. Clear? But first of all, we are going to see the infinite width problem, potential barrier problem for infinite width. Clear? So first of all, tell me that what the width here is and what the all thing is there, what I have written over here, that E is greater than V, E is less than V, and E is equal to V. So basically guys, I'm gonna tell you that first let's take a very basic example so that you can understand that physical significance of tunneling. Clear? So guys, suppose you are there, suppose you are this, clear, and there is one wall like this, there is one wall and you are hitting it again and again. You are hitting it, this is cemented wall, clear, and you are hitting it again and again, and even if you do it like 1,000 times also, even if you hit it 1,000 times, what will happen? Will it break? No, it will not break. Fine. But like that happens in case of macroscopic particle. Clear? But what happens when we talk about microscopic particles? They like usually move in terms of wave. We usually define them in terms of wave. Suppose a microscopic particle is there. Fine. So we always define them by wave because they have wave nature with them. Suppose there is one length, there is one barrier. Clear? Suppose there is one barrier. Clear? So one microscope, that was the another story. The macroscopic particle, that is another story. That if the energy which is less than this one, because suppose this is V, suppose this is the energy of microscopic particle, and this V is the potential barrier of this wall or anything, like any barrier. Fine. Like you can say that this is the energy for wall. In simplest term, this is V is the energy of wall. So you know that this energy will always be less than V. So what will happen? It will never be able to cross this. It will never be able to break this. Fine. But in microscopic particle, the story gets reverted. What happens? Even if the particle energy is less than this potential barrier, guys, this is the height is defined by V. The barrier, suppose this is the barrier, you can understand it like a wall is there which is of height V, and we call it potential barrier. Clear? A potential barrier is there, and even if its energy, the microscopic particle energy, is less than V, here the energy was less than V, so it was not able to break the wall. But in microscopic particle, if energy is less than V, so it will again hit. Suppose it is hitting it 1,000 times. But suppose a time will reach that after striking again and again, one time will reach that it will cross this barrier. So what changes will happen? Guys, this is the question which was asked in the exam, that what changes happen after it strikes the surface of barrier. The microscopic particle strike the surface of barrier. So guys, suppose this is the barrier and this is the microscopic particle. Clear? So what happens? that suppose this is the amplitude. This is the amplitude of wave. So little bit amplitude will decrease till a distance, but again it will again increase. It will happen. So it was the question that after tunneling, or after, this is tunneling guys. This is basically tunneling, that okay, tunneling happened. Tunneling means if energy is less than V and microscopic particle is able to cross it, so that means the tunneling happened. So, and this is the tunnel region. Clear? So what happens, it was asked in the exam that suppose microscopic particle is there. Clear? So the amplitude will increase or decrease, or will it decrease and then increase or decrease? It was asked like that in the exam, that what will happen to this amplitude when it will cross the barrier. Clear? So so what will be the answer? You can easily see, you can now easily tell that the amplitude after striking the surface, it will decrease but then it will increase. Fine, the answer it will decrease a bit but then it will increase. Clear guys? That is the answer of this question. Clear? So that is the basic agenda. So this was for finite width guys. This was for finite width. You can see the barrier width is finite. But first of all, we'll study about infinite width. Can you see? The width is infinite here. In this case, the width is infinite. Although the height is this. Height is V. Fine. And this is a particle. This is a microscopic particle which is hitting this surface of this height V, and width infinity. Like this has infinite width. Clear? So we are gonna see that what will happen, that what questions can be asked after that. Fine, how to evaluate things accordingly. These three cases, that there can be three possibilities, that E can be greater than V, like the energy of microscopic particle can be greater than the barrier height. Clear? The energy of this microscopic particle can be less than the barrier height. Then what will happen? If the energy of microscopic particle is equal to this barrier height, then what will happen? Clear? So first of all, we will see the case of infinite width. This infinite, that the width is infinite. Clear? This is a microscopic particle. I told you this is a microscopic particle when it will hit this surface. Fine. So it has two possibilities. It has two possibilities, that okay, this is the incident current. Can I say that this is the incident current? And incident current will be defined by A. So I have written A over here. Clear? So now it has two possibilities here, that whether it can be transmitted. Whether it can be transmitted, this is second region guys, like from this, like after striking, this is the this is the second region, and this is the first region. Clear? So what will happen, that either it can be transmitted like this, or it can be reflected like this, that it can go back after hitting the surface, it did not cross this barrier and it again reflected. Clear? So this current was defined by B. This reflected current is defined by B. This incident current is defined by A, and this transmitted current is defined by this C. Clear? So that is just representation. Clear guys? So we are going to see the first case, when energy of microscopic particle. Clear? The energy of microscopic particle is greater than V. That what will happen, that the energy is so great, is so much that it is greater than this height, this V. Clear? So what will happen? So guys, when we'll be applying Schrodinger equation, to this region and all, so what will happen, we'll get this wave function. That's how we find wave function for everything, for particle in a box and for hydrogen atom, for anything. We apply Schrodinger equation, and by the solution of it we get the wave function. Fine. When we'll be applying Schrodinger equation to it, so we'll be getting the wave function corresponding to first region, and that would be AEIP1x. Fine guys, this 1 means the first region, and then x means this x direction. Clear? The positive x direction, and h cut plus BE minus P1x. So guys, this is in subscript only, like P1, this is in subscript only, P1x h cut. Can you see? Because we are talking about this first region, so it has two possibilities, one of incidence and second of reflectance. Fine. So the movement of particle in plus x direction, the movement of particle in plus x direction in first region, that will be defined by this. Fine guys, if I want to define a movement for this particle in plus x direction in this region, that will be defined by this a e I p 1x by h cut. Clear? So that will come by Schrodinger equation, guys. Fine. So now what will happen? We'll add to another thing also, because there is one more possibility, that is reflectance. Clear? So what will happen to reflectance? That now the incident current, this corresponding to this will be B. The reflected current corresponding to this will be B. Fine. So we need to find the movement of microscopic particle in this direction. Likewise we did for this A1, right? So similarly we will do for this B. Clear? So that will be the movement of particle in this minus x direction. That would be B E minus IPX by h cut. Clear? Simply this is a wave function, and this we got from Schrodinger equation. Clear? So guys, this was the movement of particle in plus x direction in first region, and this was the movement of particle in minus x direction in first region. Clear? And you all must be wondering that what is P1. So P1 is, guys, root 2 me. Remember that P1 is root 2 me. This is important for physics people. Fine, guys, this is important for physics people, that what is P1 and what is P2. Fine. So take care of that. The P1 is root 2 me. And so guys, so we have done for this first region. So let's see for the second region. So again, after applying the Schrodinger equation, we got this wave function corresponding to second region. So we need to find the movement of particle in this direction corresponding to C. Fine. So that would be C E I P e raised to power I p second, because this is second region. So obviously we will write second x divided by h cut. I hope that is clear to you. For first region it was this. For second region it is this. I hope this is clear to you, guys. Fine. And one more thing, that P2. This P2 will be what? P2 will be root 2m e minus v. In this region P1 is root 2 me, because here energy is the only thing here. Fine. But here V and E both are involved. Fine. So P2 will be root 2m e minus v. Obviously it would be e minus v. Don't get confused between this e minus v or v minus e. You can see that E is greater than V here. E is energy of microscopic particle is greater than the potential barrier height. Fine. So obviously E minus V would be there, because we always subtract some small thing from a large number. So here E is large. Fine. So obviously we will subtract V from it. So I hope that is clear to you. Fine. So let's move to more things that what examiner can ask. Fine. So this was the basic thing. Fine. So let's see what can be the ask. So in one of your previous questions, there was one question that what is probability current density. From this concept, from potential barrier problem, this was asked that what is probability current density. So guys, probability current density, the definition is that if a particle is trying to cross the region, trying to cross the surface of unit area per unit time, that is the probability. That what will be the probability of crossing the region having surface of unit area per unit time. Simple, guys. That is very easy. Simply we are talking about like what will be the probability of crossing by that particle, fine, of surface. Like suppose it is hitting that surface, so what will be the probability by this particle of hitting this surface of surface of unit area per unit time, like within 1 second, and within this 1 meter square area, what will be the probability of a particle of crossing this barrier? Clear? Like of the infinite width. Clear? Here we are talking about this infinite width. Clear? So that is the definition of probability current density, and we define it by J. So it was simply asked in the exam, guys. So this is important, I guess, because once it has appeared in exam, then it becomes very important. Fine. So this thing is important, so pay attention to it. So J. So after applying this bounding condition and all, we got to know that the formula becomes like this: h cut by 2mi. Then 2mi, like h cut by 2mi psi star, and this del psi minus psi, like just revert it, like write instead of psi star psi del and psi star, simply write psi star del psi minus, just revert them like this, psi del psi star. Clear? And also if you get like I also learned it like this, that it is h cut by 2 mi. I always used to forget this, so I always remember it like this, mi. So you all must be knowing about this mi phone. Like there is some brand, no, mi phone, so I always do it like this, j is equal to h cut by, it's funny, I know that, so it is h cut by 2 mi. Fine, you can remember it like that. And then psi star del psi, and it will be reversed like that, minus psi del psi star. Clear? Where del is del by del x, because we are moving in x direction only, so we'll take only one coordinate, that is del by del x. Clear guys? I hope that is clear to you. This is the basic formula. Clear? So we'll see for first region and for second region how to write it. Clear guys? For first region and for second region. So first region, when I'll be applying everything, that h cut by 2 mi, it will become psi 1 star del by del x psi 1 minus, I'm just simply putting everything same only, and I'm just putting 1, like psi will be for first region, and del by del x psi 1 star, like for first region. And you know that psi 1 was this one, AEIPX. Remember that AEIP1x by h cut. Remember that it was P1x by h cut, and it was this one, minus BE minus IPXI. It was plus, I guess. BX by h cut. Let's see. What was the, I think it was plus only. Yeah, it was plus only. Clear? And it was negative direction, so we'll see it like this. So this was the formula. Clear? So this was the thing. So when we'll be applying this del by del x and all, when we'll be solving this equation to it, because this was psi. Fine. So when we'll be applying psi star and when we'll be putting everything, so basically we'll come to only this thing. This will become this thing, P1 by m a square minus P1 by m b square. Fine guys. Suppose if I say that this is the, if I say okay, this is the thing, that a microscopic particle is hitting it, and this is a barrier height is v, and the energy is E. Fine. So if I say that there can be two possibilities, reflectance and the transmittance. Clear? For this, so I can say for this region, for this A incident region, the intensity will be P1 by m a square. Intensity for incident region would be P1 by m a square. And you know that this one, reflecting current, was B. So intensity corresponding to it would be P1 by m b square. Simply it will be like this. Simply do it like this, that it will be P1 by m a square. This is intensity. You can see the intensity corresponding to incidence, that would be P1 by m a square, like mod a square, minus P1 by m mod b square. Clear? Where a square mod square is a into a star, where this mod b square is b into b star. Always remember it would be minus, because it is coming like that and then it is reverting back, so that means that is in opposite direction, so it would be minus. So let's see for this one. Let's see for second one what will happen to second one. Yeah, so J corresponding to second region, that would be simply, we'll put the formula h cut by 2 mi psi star for second region, del by del x psi second, minus, I will just exchange their position, psi second del by del x psi for second region star. Clear? And it, when I'll be solving it, because remember that guys, psi 2 was CE, this CEI P2x by h cut. Remember that? So this was the formula for this. When we'll be applying it over here, so we'll get to, we'll be left with this thing, P2 by m modulus c square. Clear? This is mod. Clear? P2 by m c square, where c square would be c into c star. Clear? So P2 by m, you can see that for incidence the intensity will be P1 by m a square. For this B current, for the reflected current, it would be P1 by m b square, and for this transmitted current, it would be P2 by m c square. I hope that is clear to you guys. I hope that is clear. Clear? So what will happen now? So what will happen now, that don't get confused, that for this, suppose you are writing like this, that in that the intensity corresponding to this, suppose you have written that P1 P by m and a square, and here for B, don't get confused that you are writing P2 by mb square. Don't get confused guys, this is first region, this is second region. You will always write 1 here. You will always write 1 for these possibilities, and for transmitted current you will always write P2 by m c square, because this transmitted current was C. Remember that it was C. Initially only I told you it is A. it is B. This is like the current is represented by these things. I hope that this thing is clear to you. You will not get confused between this P1, P2, like when what is the intensity and what are the reflected currents, and this transmitted current and incident current and the J values and all. So guys, basically examiner will ask you only one thing. The most important thing is this, R and T. So R means reflectance. What is reflectance? Fine. So examiner will be asking that what is the reflectance in case of E greater than V, because we are studying for E greater than V and infinite width. Fine. We'll be studying for finite width also. Fine. For infinite width, so if E is greater than V, the energy of microscopic particle is greater than V. So what will happen? That so the formula will be, obviously reflectance is there, so obviously I'll take intensity corresponding to reflected current, fine, divided by intensity corresponding to incident current. Simply that will be the formula. If I talk about transmittance, the formula will become like this, that the intensity corresponding to transmitted current divided by intensity corresponding to incident current. That will the formula. If I talk about reflectance, the formula will be intensity corresponding to reflected current divided by incident current. Fine. And you know that the intensity for reflected current, this is defined by P1mB square, and this one, the incident current, the incident current, the intensity is P1 by m A square. Fine. So when it will be cancelled out, and when we'll be applying this boundary conditions and all, fine guys. So I think there is no need of showing that, because that will only waste our time, because I need to complete your whole syllabus within this July only. Clear? So let's do it. So when we'll be putting it, this B value comes like this. So basically your answer will be this. Always remember that the reflectance, if examiner asks that reflectance for E less than V and infinite width, will be, always remember that would be P1 minus P2 divided by P1 plus P2 whole square. Simply that will be the formula, P1 minus P2 divided by P1 plus P2 square. Clear guys? That will be the only formula. I hope this is clear to you. So don't get confused between this minus and plus, that where minus will come, where plus will come. Clear? So these are only small things which you have to take care in your mind. So don't get confused that always in this numerator the minus will come. Remember that. For reflectance, you can see that reflectance happens in minus x direction. So here minus will come. This is just a trick guys. I'm telling you, this is just a trick. Fine. So don't see logic in it. So you can see that this reflectance is happening in minus x direction, the opposite direction. Fine. So you will, in numerator you will write minus. So you can learn it like that. So in that way you will never be confused. So let's come to this transmittance thing. Fine. So I told you that the transmittance would be intensity corresponding to transmitted current divided by intensity corresponding to incident current. Clear? So intensity corresponding to transmitted current, that would be, so in that region, remember that. So this was P1 by m A square. Remember that this was P1 by m A square, and this reflected current, the intensity was P1 by m B square. Clear? And this was the first region, and this for C, and this was the second region. So intensity corresponding to transmitted current, that was P2 by m C square. Fine. So when I'll be putting P2 by m C square and P1 by m A square, so after solving everything, fine guys. So after doing some derivations all, we'll be left with this thing, that transmittance is equal to 4 P1 P2 divided by P1 plus P2 whole square. So guys, these both things are very important. R and T examiner can ask what is reflectance and what is transmittance. So remember that in transmittance the formula will be 4 P1 P2 divided by P1 plus P2 square. Clear? 4 P1 P2 divided by P1 plus P2 square. Take care of that. In reflectance also it was P1 minus P2. Fine. P1 minus P2 divided by P1 plus P2 whole square. Fine. Don't get confused. In both cases you can see in denominator plus will come. Fine. So don't get confused here. You always have to remember this. Fine. So now let's see guys, these are very small things for infinite width only. for the same width we have been talking about, if energy is equal to V, we have talked about energy greater than V, fine. So if energy is equal to V, what will happen? Suppose guys, if energy is equal to V, obviously you can see that it will happen that it will be only reflecting it, because it does not have energy greater than V that it can transmit, fine, because it has only equal energy, so it can only reflect. So that means it is saying that reflectance, that only reflectance will happen, that reflectance is 1, that reflectance is 1, fine, and transmittance is 0. The reflectance is 1 and transmittance is, no transmittance will be there. When E is equal to V for infinite width, if someone asks what is R, what is reflectance, you will say that always reflectance will happen. So that means 1. 1 means certainty that always reflectance will happen, and T is equal to 0 means like never transmittance will happen. Same with this. Suppose if energy is less than V, the energy of microscopic particle is less than this barrier height, fine, then also it does not have that much energy that it will cross it. That can happen only in finite width, guys. So that is the another story which I told you in start, that in finite width, instead of this E less than V, it can cross, fine. But here if it has E less than V, it will never be able to cross it. Fine, no crossing means no transmittance, means transmittance will be 0 and always reflectance will happen. Fine, R plus T, the sum is equal to 1, guys. Always remember, the reflectance and transmittance sum will be always equal to 1. Clear? So if it is coming like this, fine, for infinite width, if E is less than V, R would be 1 and T would be 0. If E is equal to V, the R would be equal to 1 and T will be equal to 0. And if E is greater than V, so this will be the reflectance formula. This is the reflectance formula and the transmittance formula. So don't get confused here, guys, for E is equal to V, E less than V and E greater than V. Fine, you can remember that E is less than V, so no transmittance can happen. If E is equal to V, so obviously no transmittance can happen. You can remember it like that. Don't get confused that if examiner is saying that E less than V and what is reflectance and you are applying this formula, that would be wrong. That would be wrong. You need to apply this. You need to only write 1. Clear? So don't get confused here. This is very simple thing. I hope that this thing is clear to you guys. So only examiner will play between these things. So he will not go beyond that. Fine. So I have taken question also that I will discuss after I'll be completing the theory and all. Fine. Then we'll be seeing that how questions will come from this topic. So basically now we'll see this tunneling thing, that tunneling, when tunneling happens basically. Fine, when tunneling happens basically, so we'll be seeing that. So what happens, guys? What happens that tunneling will happen in case of this finite width. So now we are going to talk about finite width. Clear? So till now we have talked about infinite width. So suppose this is a microscopic, so this is classical thing. Suppose this is a microscopic particle. Clear? So now what will happen? It has some finite width like this. Fine, at something it is L and it is V, suppose. So it will, you know that the amplitude will drop and then it will again increase. This is for finite width. If you remember, I told you initially only. Clear? So basically what happens that it is you can read the statement that it is purely quantum mechanics phenomenon. Clear? Microscopic particle having energy less than energy of potential barrier. Means energy of microscopic particle having less than energy of potential barrier, having finite width. Finite width that we are defining by L. L is width. Clear? Have the tendency to cross the barrier. That is unrealistic, but that happens in quantum mechanics, that happens in microscopic level, that even if energy is less than the energy of this wall, energy of this barrier, it can cross it if it keeps striking it again and again. Fine. So one time will reach when it will hit it, when it will cross it, it will cross through this tunnel region. So that means we always call it, this is the definition of tunneling. So that is the tunneling. And also, guys, this is one example, that ejection of alpha particle from radioactive nuclei. because alpha particle has energy less than this, the barrier, whatever the barrier will be, so it can be ejected from that nuclei. So that means ejected means that means tunneling happened. So this is the example. And also pyramidal inversion of ammonia. So these are examples basically. Fine. So what will happen, only one thing will be asked here guys, only one formula is there, that what is the tunneling formula, because tunneling happened here, so basically the formula will be, this formula is very important. Fine. So just see over here, I'm zooming it over so that it becomes important and you see it. So guys, this formula is T is equal to e raised to power minus 2 root 2 m v minus e. This is root v minus e divided by h cut and into L. So guys, this root is over only this only. I'm writing over here. It is minus 2 root 2 mv minus e till here. Under root is still here only. Fine. And into L. And this L is outside. Divided by h cut. Clear? So this is basically the formula. Fine. So what will happen? Examiner will only play between this thing, that suppose if v is equal to infinity or L is equal to infinity, so what will happen? So guys, if v is equal to infinity, suppose v is equal to infinity, so it will become t is equal to e raised to power minus infinity, because anything multiplication with infinity, that would be infinity. And you know, e raised to power minus infinity, that would be e raised to power infinity. Can I write over it like that? Because it is e raised to power minus infinity. If I write it in denominator, it will become 1 by infinity. And you know, 1 by infinity would be 0. Fine. So tunneling will be 0 in that case. Suppose if v is infinity or L is infinity, in both case it will happen. In both case, if L is infinity, then also it will become like this, e raised to power minus infinity. Then it will become like this, 1 by e infinity. And then again it will become 1 by infinity and it would be 0. Clear guys? So basically, let's see on what factors this tunneling depends. Fine. So only examiner will ask you from this point only, that what will the formula of tunneling, suppose if we increase the mass or decrease the mass, what will happen? Fine. So let's see what will happen. So can you see guys, if I increase the mass of microscopic particle, so can you tell me like whether this tunneling, the transmission probability, we also call it transmission probability, clear? Transmission probability or tunneling, the T will increase or decrease. Suppose guys, this M will increase. If this M is increasing, fine. So this, it is minus, suppose it increased to such level, that this M is increasing. Just assume only M over here. Fine. This M will increase, so that means this minus number means if something is increasing, so basically it is decreasing. Because if I write minus 4 and minus 25, so what is, if I keep increasing it? Fine. So it is becoming smaller overall. Can you see minus 25 is smaller? So that means if I increase the M, so this whole will become smaller. This will become smaller. So this tunneling will also be decrease. Because so that means if I increase the mass, so that means tunneling will decrease. Clear? This T will decrease. Same with V. If I increase V, same will happen if I increase V. So minus is there. So this will be like, if I increase it, so this number will be small number. This will be small and the tunneling will decrease. Fine. The only thing with everything, it will be same only. But with this thing, with energy of particle, what will happen? With energy of particle, another thing will happen. So let's see what will happen with energy of particle. Suppose guys, if I increase the energy of this microscopic particle, so can you see there is minus? So minus and minus will become plus like this. Minus, so if I increase this E, fine. So this minus and minus will become plus E. Fine. So if I increase this whole number increases. This whole number increases means tunneling is also increased. So basically, you need to remember only one thing. That with only this thing, I have written over here wrong, that if E decrease, this tunneling will also decrease. Clear? So basically, you need to just take care of only this thing, that with if E increase, T will decrease. If E decrease, T will decrease. And with all other factors, it will be inverse relationship. Like if M increase, T will decrease. If V decrease, T will decrease. If width increase, the T will decrease. But if energy increase, tunneling will increase, the transmission probability will increase. Clear? So I hope you know that what all are the terms represent. Fine. So one more question once in exam. This was asked, what is decay length? For in tunneling only it was asked that what is decay length. So guys, decay length is always defined by this beta. Fine. Decay length means it is always defined by this beta, and the formula will be only this thing. Fine. The formula will be this, that it is h cut by root 2m v minus c. This thing only. If I write it over here, it will become like this. T is equal to e raised to power minus 2 into 1 by beta into this h cut into L. I'm so sorry, h cut will not come. So it would be L. So that will be the only formula. Fine. So if someone asks that what is decay length and everything is given, that what the tunneling is given, length is given, so you can find what is decay length. Fine guys. So examiner can ask you question like that also. Fine. So guys, that's it for this tunneling only, because if suppose in this case only we study about this E less than V only. Fine. Suppose if E is greater than V, so you can see if E is greater than V, so it will become like this, that if E is greater than V, so what will happen, that it will become infinity and then it will be 0 only, and we only study only this case only. E less than V. Always remember, we only study this E less than V for this one. Finite width. Clear? Clear guys? So that is only tunneling guys. You can see how easy this topic was, right? So that was the only theory part. This is the only theory part. Examiner does not give that much difficult question from this topic, because only he'll play with this mass and this barrier height and the width, that what will happen if mass increases, what will happen if V increases, what will happen if L decreases, what will happen if energy V increase. So that is the only thing that examiner will try to trick you with. Fine. So guys, I hope you liked this lecture. In the next video, I'm going to talk about this 2 to 3 question based on this tunneling and all. Fine. So we are going to see that in the next class. Fine. And for also guys, if you have any query, any doubt, please feel free to use the comment section, and please drop down your queries in the comment section. Fine. And you can also follow me on the other social media platforms, which is Instagram. Fine. And link will be around here. And also I have Telegram group. Even if you have very small doubt, this is for bio people. I know guys, you people struggle with basic mathematics, even with this basic LCM and all. Fine. If you have any problem, if you are hesitant to ask me, please drop one message on Telegram group. Telegram group will be given in the description box. Clear? I'll be clarifying your doubt. I'll be very happy to clear your doubt. Clear? So please also tell me how many of you stayed till the end, right? So in the next class, we are going to discuss question on it, and that will be the end of tunneling. And after that, we are going to head over this perturbation. You know, the perturbation is so much favorite topic of examiner, that from now onwards every topic is so much important guys, so that you can't afford to miss it. Fine. So I'll see all of you in the next one. Till then, bye and keep smiling. Bye.